So this is my website, CubicInfinity.github.io, hosting on GitHub because it's free. Um, One of the recent things I added was this modular visualizer, and I figured it would be best to create a video to explain what it's about, how it works. As this, while technically correct, is maybe not that helpful to a lot of people. So this divides numbers. Like literally, I can just simply say, okay, 1,000 divided by 3, and it'll tell me what it is, which it's 333 and 3 repeating. I just stick this R here rather than an overbar because it was easier to implement. Now I'll also do, I particularly want to show this because this is an example to explain what's going on. So we get this, this is the value we get, 1/7 expressed as a decimal, 0.142857 repeating. But these remainders is the whole motivation behind creating this app was while you're doing long division, you're going to get this pattern of remainders. I'll explain that real quick. So using my mouse, at least for now, because it's easier. So if I say 1 divided by 7, in long division, so I get 0, 1 is left over. This is like 10 divided by 7, I get 1 and 3 left over. It's 30. This is 4, left over is 6, because it's 14. 60, 8, and 4, because it's 56. So you got 5 for 35. And then 50, 49 goes in with 1 remainder. So, and then we're back at the beginning, so this will just repeat. But we got this pattern 1, 3, 6, 4, 5, 1 repeating. So that's what this is. I could, like, technically it's already repeating when it's begun, but I only start checking to see if it's repeating after the decimal point. So that's why the R is there instead of in front. There are several display features. I got, if I make it a bigger numerator so I can actually have something to the left of the decimal point, anything that happens to the left of the decimal point can appear as what I'm referring to as the initial line. I can remove it to not render it, but this fainter line here is just saying 6 to 0 to 1 to 3 to 2 to 6 to 5 to 4 to 5 and repeating. So these relationships, these patterns are quite interesting to me, which is why I created this app. This just changes the appearance, obviously, of this. The from and to are just the colors. I can control. This is HTML format, so I can do like pound hexadecimal ID for the color. So this is red. This is, and then I switched those. This is green, and then this is blue, and then because I've added a 4th character, that becomes alpha, which is the transparency layer or channel. So this is a very small amount of opacity. In other words, very transparent, and then it becomes more transparent as it goes up to A, which is 10 out of 16. Here I only have 3 characters, so alpha is just full, so it's just going to be the same thing as if I put an F there for 100%. So that's what's going on here. I can add another color if I want, and I can change this. If you know the name of the color specifically, you can type it in, so you can say orange, and now I got orange because maybe I was interested in that. So real quick, these I can choose to hide this. I do have a line values feature that it just justifies everything and matches it up so everything's paired and it's easier to read. Although when I do a very large, it's not fully implemented for like really long series, but I've stopped developing this because I'm satisfied with what I have so far. But maybe if people really like this app, I can I can go ahead and I can improve on it. I do think it would be cool to create a gallery, maybe a different page that just has, or maybe just like an overlay or something, but like you can send in the thumbnail along with all the settings you use, and then maybe I can switch to, I'm doing this all in JavaScript, but I could switch to storing these values in Git, as in like instead of post using it in Git, and then it would be in the URL, all of those values would be stored. So you could just click the thumbnail and it would load all the settings right away. If enough people are interested in that, I can make it. So I'll show some of the other things. I was, this is not where I need to be right now, but I created a few, I saved a few of these values, gave them some names. This is, I should probably explain first what's going on with the base of expression. This is, so we're in base 10, it's decimal. This is how we normally write numbers, but I do have the freedom to do something else. Like you may be familiar with binary, which is just ones and zeros. It's base 2. There's only 2 different digits, and so we don't go very far before we move on to a new place value. It's 0, it's 1, and then new place value. So then you could move on. And I can do that with any of these. I haven't implemented anything to like add A through F for base 16 hexadecimal, which could work all the way up to base 36 if I wanted, because there's, go up to the letter Z, but I haven't seen the need to bother with that. So so in this case, like 14 is just 14. It's not being expressed as the letter E, which is what it would be in hexadecimal. Yeah, so that's what this does. And you can see when you change the base of expression, the behavior absolutely does change. Now we just have 2, 4, 1 repeating. You definitely do get different things depending on the numerator, but you'll notice that the type of patterns you get tend to be pretty similar as long as the denominator and base of expression are the same. So a lot of times I'm just going to say numerator 1 because I'm really interested in the relationships between these two numbers. Let's try, this is one of the ones I saved into my thing. So it says the results have been truncated. Let's get rid of max precision so there's no limit. I could get rid of the line values and it'll appear like that. That's not too bad. But for now, let's just get rid of the values because we don't need to see those. Now this is small. Obviously, I can boost the resolution. And this doesn't look too bad. Sure I can read those numbers, but let's just get rid of them because I'm not looking at those right now. I'll even get rid of the points. That's cleaner. So this is, I believe this hits every single point on the circle. Actually, we are skipping 0. On a lot of these, there's going to be a gap at the top. I'm getting into too much detail though. Let's try one more. Oh, you know what? This one's very pretty. It creates, so anytime I use, I did this backwards. We need to have a smaller number up top. So anytime you do like numbers that are just like 2 apart like this, it'll draw a cardioid. Now the cardioid might not be perfect. This one, it actually hits every single point. It's very clean. And because it's a large number, it's a very high resolution. But for example, I could do something as small as 13 and 15. You can still see the cardioid going on here. It's not as pronounced, but you can definitely tell that same basic structure is getting drawn. So you can start to see why I liked this so much, why I wanted to create this. So definitely go try this out and see what you can discover. This particular one came from picking 2 prime numbers, mostly at random. We're going to have to go back to a high resolution here in order to make much out. This is pretty faint, so I'm going to increase the line thickness. Oh, not 50. Let's just do 5. That's already maybe thicker than I need, but so you can see some very interesting things going on here. I'll zoom in a bit, but this is a raster image. Whoa, what just happened? Okay, this is a raster image and not vector, so it doesn't look great when you zoom in, but I mean, if you want to zoom in a whole lot, just create a larger resolution image. But you can see kind of like these are all exiting because we're starting. What did I do here? Yeah, so the from is orange. So actually, the pink is an arriving color. So it's leaving from orange and coming to pink. So there's it's like a flowering pattern that we got, and it's kind of in multiple layers. There's some interesting just straight lines that are very prominent going across here, which is interesting. Also at diagonal angles and stuff. So there are a lot of numbers out there, and there's definitely a lot to explore. If we could learn more about why we get the shapes we get in various circumstances, that could be worthy of an entire study. So, thanks for checking this out. And if you do want to have a gallery, then let me know.